Okay, so the next definition is double swing frame, C pair frame. I'm going to go with a double swing frame is literally a frame into which you're going to hang two doors. They may not have a definition for a frame where you're hanging more than two doors, like where you're using a mullion, or you have some weird other arrangement, like you've got what would be a paired swing frame, a double swing frame, but then you've got doors that will fold onto the other doors and all that'll fold back. I'm not really sure. They call it a pair frame, so I'm going to go with a double swing frame is defined as those frames where you're hanging two doors and those two doors always swing in the same direction, meaning never as a double egress, and certainly not a communicating frame. And as I look to the catalog for pair frame, which SDI refers to, there's actually no entry for that. So let's switch to the screen view and let's dig a little deeper into what we can find with this. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, double swing frame, C pair frame. So there is no pair frame in here. So let's try. This is the 2020 glossary that I've been working with. And the reason I've been working with this glossary, because I've been making these definitions for, I don't know, 3 years, and that was the most current document at that time. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, there is no more current document, but let's see if perhaps it's been updated. Let's get over to page 13 maybe. Yeah, pair frame. All right, so let's see if there's a pair. Yeah, so there's nothing there. So at the end of the day, let's go with this being a pair. Now, what's the difference between a double swing frame and a single swing frame? I'm just going to go with one is telling me that there's going to be two doors, at least two doors, and the other is telling me that there's going to be one door. The way in which you would call out pairs of doors is no different than single doors in terms of the sizing. So if I have a 3.0, 7.0 opening, I think it's absolutely safe to assume that we're talking about a single 3.0, 7.0 leaf and not a pair of 1'6". If someone calls out a 5.0 or a 6.0 or a 7.0 or an 8.0 wide opening, it's safe to assume that they're talking about a pair. If you're talking about a 4.0, 7.0 or whatever height, it's pretty safe to assume that we're calling out a single door, except that could be a pair. Any of it could really be a pair. But you get wider than 4 foot, and it's going to be really unusual, it's most definitely in hollow metal, to see single doors as a 5.0 or a 5.6 or a 5.8 or a 6.0, etc., even though they do exist. In fact, I was on vacation recently and saw an incredibly wide door. I was actually in an airport that was most definitely two individual panels that were attached together. It could have been a 7.0 by whatever the height was. It was quite tall. But that was two doors that were I could tell because I've done this before. It basically had a flat astragal on each side, and it was just mechanically attached like this is how they did it. So what helps me obviously know if it's a 4.0, let's say, because that's the one that you could say to yourself, well, is it a single or a double? It's most definitely a single almost all the time, but not every time. You'll look at the hardware set, you'll immediately know, or you'll look at the hand. If it calls out, left hand reverse active, well, then you know that you're dealing with a pair of doors. This is going to be most definitely, as a definition, different than this, because they are not talking about double egress. I didn't draw that how I wanted. Maybe parallel bevel on these two doors. Left hand reverse, left hand reverse. So they're definitely talking about a door a frame that's got 2 doors that is not double egress, that's double egress. And they're definitely not talking about a communicating frame. A double pair, you know, communicating brain, double egress, that all has 2 doors in it, but I'm pretty sure that what they're meaning is double swing frame. The reason I say that is because they actually have an entry for this double swing frame. They have separate entries for double egress, and they should for communicating as well. Yeah, they do, communicating. So, separate entries. So I'm going to just process of elimination and state that a double swing frame, see pair frame, double swing frame is going to be a pair of doors that swing in the same direction. Very typical, common when you have a requirement for egress. You've got an occupancy load that requires so many inches of clear exiting space, you're going to have a pair of doors there. It's typical to call it a pair of doors. We know what we're talking about. Those double egress, those communicating, those are unusual to talk about because they're just so much less common. And I think we've covered a basic understanding of this. Double swing frames, you know, they're going to be susceptible to all of the other special requirements that you'll have on a single pair, except that there's more happening on a pair of doors. Flush bolt strikes, for instance. The need to be able to handle more hardware installed in an opening. More detail to the hardware set because there's just more hardware. There'll be more hinges, more closers. There'll be flush bolts or an extra exit device, whatever it might be. All right, let's move on to drip. We'll talk about what that means. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.